Christwood here, Thursday, December 16th, 2021, 5:56 p.m., 8 o'clock. As I am doing this, I have barely any feeling left in my body. I have no feeling left in my head. I need help. I cannot get help, so congratulations, Spencer Mills. OPP Lennox and Addington 14716. Staff Sergeant, Chief now gone, Stacy mental health worker, Shannon Cork, Robert Kane, Robert Lucas, and your doctors involved, Blair Hardy and William Aldridge, your inmate, escapee, identity thief, sex offender, human trafficker, drug trafficker, Spencer Mills and other cops, revenge, meth fed, killer, for me speaking of their police crimes. Simple as that, will not be proven wrong. Injured, tortured, stalked, lied about, had William Aldridge's prisoner tracking taken off of him, put onto me for tracking, for stalking, for framing, for part of this identity theft. Spencer Mills and the rest of them has co-conspired to have me charged, to have me criminalized so they could get my prints, so they could get my pictures, so they could get my signature. They have my blood and my piss conveniently through threats, life threats, and kidnapping. Through Shelley Huffington's lies about incompetency bullshit. And I do believe that day on May 27th when Spencer Mills showed up and I had to beg not to be put in his car, he would have murdered me on that day. He's been out for me for over 2 years because of me speaking of his homeless, human trafficking, and other crimes at the Morning Star mission. That's when this started back in 2019. I went to see Stacy at mental health for somebody else for problems to get her help. I walked in, her first words, "I know you." I still don't know what the fuck she meant by that because no, she don't. I was not a patient of hers. I had no association with her except for getting help with housing stuff. Maybe once or twice prior, and that was it. It had nothing to do with any mental illness or mental health issues. I walk out on her. The next day, David Smith from Morning Star Mission shows up. He delivers me pretty much my last meal. 5 minutes later, Spencer Mills shows up with a guy with dark hair, black hair from mental health, pretty much to threaten me, to intimidate me, to let me know and tell me under any circumstances if I do not stop talking about what has taken place, there will be consequences for me. And then after that happened, I am sitting on my front porch at my previous address, and the chief goes by, who is now gone. He was in a white Jeep. He went by, he waved. There was a black truck beside him. The person had dark black hair. They leaned out the window, pointed something at me, and shot it. This is no fucking joke, and it went into my right ear. It went into my right ear, and it started moving from back here all the way around up to the top side of my head. I started having problems figuring out what the fuck's going on, so I go to the hospital. But before this happened, after whatever went into my ear, before me going to the hospital, William Aldridge comes on the scene. He starts stalking me. Every time I would come out, he was right there. I would go downtown, he was right there. I would go see my mother, he was right there, who he was also stalking. When he was not stalking me, he was stalking my mother, and he was calling her mom. My mother was scared of this piece of shit because of what he was doing to her. He was also using remote neuro monitoring on her. And because of her age, he caused tumors, which in turn took her life a year ago. He killed her with intent. But anyway, I started having these problems. I go to the hospital. I see Tatiana conveniently for my first CAT scan in November 2019. And then all of a sudden, who shows up? Stacy, stating that she's there for me for anxiety, for all this other stuff that I do not have. Casting her fucking bullshit lies, which she needs to prove legally. And then after that, I conveniently get medically blacklisted. Her first words, Tatiana's first words after my CAT scan when I asked her for copies and pictures of it was, "You don't need to see him. Why do you want to see him? You need to get yourself a doctor and get on medication." Those were her exact words, telling me I would not understand my CAT scans. So fine. I wasn't getting any results there, so I decided to go to other hospitals where they were getting phone calls stating that I was suicidal. Not true. I was there to save my life, to find out what was going on. I've never been suicidal. I'm about life. 100% lie, because I had long hair and tattoos, so they bought the story because it was coming from so-called professionals. But that was to cover up and prevent me from getting taken serious and getting me help. The next time they tried it, both times at Kingston General Hospital, next time they tried to say I was on drugs. I do not do drugs. I am against drugs. Everybody knows me, knows I'm against them. I've lost too many friends and family from it. But it worked because of long hair and tattoos, so they assumed. I've had lies cast against me stating I've been in and out of jail my whole life and I have a long criminal history. None of it is true in any way, shape, or form. I've had lies cast against me stating I've had a long history of being in and out of mental institutions and everything else, and doctors and hospitals, and none of it is true. That is William Wooldridge's life that they are casting on me, my identity thief, the one that they are refusing to arrest. You know, the one that they will surround with their hands on their guns to prevent his arrest at OPP, along with themselves and doctors. But and then me going to the hospital, not being taken serious, being treated like a piece of shit when I was actually seen, and other times and then I would walk out and it was being made to look like I was the one that was refusing treatment, and that's not the case. I was getting belittled. I was being called retarded. They thought that sodomy was funny because it was done to me by cops. They think that skull deforming means that somebody actually needs a psychiatrist. Like, fuck you. All because of bullshit lies cast about me which need to be proven. Compliments of Spencer Mills and Stacy. See, this is how they are getting away with their crimes, and the other cops and doctors. They're using their badges, their positions, their credentials, their lies, false guise of law, to justify the crimes that they are getting away with and to be unsuspecting of them. See, they pre-criminalize somebody and then boom, a person disappears. Nobody thinks anything of it. They think it's just a criminal thing. Meanwhile, it has nothing to do with that. That person is being human trafficked and that person is being murdered. And this is how Spencer Mills does it. He's moving people, he's pre-criminalizing people, and he's moving them through the system to human traffic them. And that's how he's doing it. So congratulations, I'm 49, I'm in my 50th year, I cannot get medical help, I cannot get legal help, I'm being seriously fucking injured and tortured on a daily basis, I'm not being taken serious, I can prove my injuries that I never had prior to August of 2019 when all of this started. But because of the time buying and the lies, the cover-ups, the medical blacklisting, the refusing, and everything else that has taken place with me, I'm pretty sure time is bought. And now the co-conspired people, the doctors, to get away with the crime, they co-conspired with the cops to have me charged so they could criminalize me, to either get me in a jail or a mental health system, to shut me up about their crimes. And that's what this is about, 100%. And I will not be proven wrong, and they're using their badges, their positions, and their credentials once more to do it, to fuck people's lives up. They cannot have it getting out that they are cops and doctors committing felony crimes in the way that they are doing it. They're human traffickers, human sex trade, slavery traffickers, children and adults. They fuck your children. They steal your children and sell them. They're guilty of murdering my mother, so they murder the elderly. They're guilty of harboring an inmate escapee who is committing identity theft on me, who they are very highly protective of, and like I said, will surround with hands on guns to prevent the rest of him and them and anyone else. Or they will just kidnap, like Spencer Mills and Stacy Dunn. She needs to answer for that, and so does the judge who signed me off on her bullshit lies. And that was all a bunch of bullshit to shut me up and in hopes to stop me, because 24 hours prior to that, I asked for help, with legal help, with arresting and charging and lawsuits against cops and doctors for the crimes that they have been committing on me. And then conveniently 24 hours later, that happens. And then my blood and piss is stolen. I have to jump through hoops to prove myself to all these fucking garbage, but they don't have to prove nothing because of their badges, their positions, and then everything else that they are doing to get away with the bullshit that they are getting away with me. The felony crimes, my mother's homicide, lobotomizing me, mentally fucking me up, putting prisoner tracking onto me for stalking and framing, using MK Ultra, using Clearview AI for framing victims, using junkie inmates to commit homicides and other crimes for the cops here in Napanee. And I won't be proven wrong, right? Spencer Mills, right? Staff Sergeant Chief Shannon Cork, Robert Kane, Robert Lucas, Stacy, Shelley Huffington, Tatiana, your cover-up doctor, my medical blacklister, file falsifier, to cover up crimes for Stacy and her cops for the crimes that they are committing here: poor, homeless, elderly, disabled, because you're easy victims. Once they cast their lies on you and begin their their crimes on you, there's no help here. I'm being fucking mentally fucked up. I'm being lobotomized, and this is in hopes I go crazy. This is in hopes they can justify everything that they're trying to do against me. So, congratulations, Spencer Mills. Congratulations, William Wooldridge of 149 Center Street North. Blair Hardy, you cocksucking fucking goof. You identity thieving fucking piece of shit garbage. You're a fucking identity thief. You're a financial thief. You're a delusional meth fed garbage, William Wooldridge. And so is your boyfriend, Spencer Mills. You're a co-sex assaulting fucking partner with Staff Sergeant. You stalk children for the chief, now gone, you pedophiles. Drug traffickers. You injure or torture. You sodomize your victims. You lie about them. Congratulations. Christ would love all, hate none. Be safe, watch yourselves, watch your children, and take this serious, because if nothing from me, this is done, and these cocksuckers get away with it right here in Napanee. So I don't know if anybody's seeing this, but to my family, I do love you, and I'm being killed. And this is being done by a cocksucker at 149 Center Street, North Napanee, who happens to suck Spencer Mills, OPP, Lennox, and Addington's penis to commit homicides for him, and he does not have to prove nothing. Right, you cocksucking fucks?